about to be reacting to the most evil part of the music industry, and it's not even close. Now, yesterday, I'm banking that I'm gonna post this video, 2 days from now. But yesterday, I reacted to something similar, and it was basically talking about how the industry and the big corporations are evil just for the simple fact that they sign artists just to keep them stuck where they're at. They give them impossible loans to pay just to keep certain artists stuck and own their catalog. Therefore, they'll forever have to owe them. But no, let's see if this is tackled from a different aspect. If not, then I might not post this video. But if it is, which I feel like it is, then it's getting posted. But let's see.
Been meaning to make a video talking about this for a while because this is a topic that I'm very, very passionate about, that I feel very strongly towards. The title's kind of not an exaggeration at all, despite it being, like a classic YouTube title, The Worst Thing. but it kind of is. Because this is all about posthumous releases from artists, aka the music label that the artist is signed to, putting out music or, sometimes even worse, like private details, different merchandise after they've died to further cash in on the artist's
See,
reputation,
I
its
was
fans.
talking about this a little bit yesterday. I didn't really touch upon it. I touched upon it probably about one time. I said something along the line of artists, nah, what's this called? What is it? What are they called? What are the industries in the companies called? Like labels. Labels love when their artists die, which sound messed up, but they benefit the most off of artists when they're dead because a lot more people tap into the artist to try to see who they was and see why they were so big and why were they so loved. It's not
Space that
crazy,
still
bro.
exists and is still very much emotionally tied to maybe the
You
death of a.
see it. You see it with X Tentacion. Not as much with Juice World, and a little bit with Peep. With Lil Peep, because I still listen to Lil Peep a little bit. But Lil Peep, they keep dropping the same music, where they would drop unreleased music. Like I heard the unreleased music where they're just re-releasing music. To this day in 2026, I think Lil Peep died in what, 2016, 2017. Crazy,
Artist.
bro.
And there's so many shameless examples of this happening that end up resulting in stains on the discography and legacy of many different artists that didn't even have the choice in whether or not they could
Listen,
agree
it's a
to
lot
what
of talking I
happened to
got
them.
going on, but I feel real passionate about this subject. Bro, they got a whole shoe for XXXTentacion dropping. That's my favorite artist to ever do it. He saved my life when I was younger. Like that's why 17 is my favorite number personally. He got a shoe coming out. It looked like a Bape shoe or a Van. It's hard, but yeah, y'all
The
get what I mean.
gravity of fully what I'm even talking about here, let's start off with the first example. So the reason why I first found this out and why I began to feel so passionate about this is because one day I first discovered this when I was at a Target, and randomly while I'm in the book section, I see Kurt Cobain's notebook, his personal journal, being sold for about 20 bucks, 30 bucks,
Really?
give or take. And so I pick it up, just
Whoa. Hey, I might go get that.
curious on what this is. I start flipping through some pages and I start to see some really personal passages, just like
I am treated. Wait, no, my bad. I am threatened by ridicule. I am overly concise of the sincerity of my voice. I like to have sex with people. With people, so he like having sex with men and women. Why he just say women? I love my parents. Yeah, I disagree with merely everything they stand for. I understand and appreciate the value of religion for others. My emotions are affected by music. Punk rock means freedom. I use bits and pieces of others' personalities to form my own. I feel like don't we all do that though? But this is like his internal thoughts, and they're just publishing this for the world, for the beneficial value of money, just to get the dollar sign, not to honor his legacy or show how great he was as a man, but to get a quick buck off of Kurt Cobain fans. Come on, bro.
straight diary stuff that you would expect of just him, getting his thoughts out, him just talking about his personal life. Things that kind of would make anyone uncomfortable
I
that
had to
they
get
are
close like that because his handwriting wasn't the best.
themselves.
Mine
It
not
feels
even
like
though.
it's almost just like an invasion of privacy. Like you're going into someone's room, you're literally just reading their diary. Like there's this certain uncomfort factor to it. Like you shouldn't be reading this. And this is especially true of someone like Kurt
What's
Cobain, who
the
an
name on
uncomfort
the?
factor to it. Like you shouldn't be
If you read, you a judge.
reading this. And
That's
this is
hard though.
especially true of someone like Kurt Cobain, who of course has struggled with depression, struggled with a lot of, mental problems throughout
I
their
might
entire
actually go
life. So
get
of
that.
course that's part of the things that he's writing about. To be fair though, that wasn't all the pages. There was some more acceptable stuff that I could understand, like what could be interesting releasing to the public, like rough ideas for like music videos or early lyrics of songs and whatever that you see all the time. But you'd be reading about early like Nevermind lyrics on one page, but then flip over and just get like completely jump scared of something deep, like insanely deeply personal and definitely should be private. Like this is just one example. I'm threatened by ridicule. I'm overly conscious of the
Uh,
sincerity of
I
my
just read this, but I ain't supposed to listen and read it
place.
again.
I like to have sex with people. I love my parents, yet I disagree with merely everything they stand for. I understand and appreciate the value of religion for some people, others. My emotions are affected by music. Punk rock means freedom. I use bits and pieces of others' personalities to form my own.
I
Under
agree
what
with that
circumstances?
last one though for sure. And I kind of with the sex thing. I enjoy having sex. That's kind of TMI. But hey, y'all at a dose video. Y'all there. Welcome to the mind of dose. You know what I'm saying? Y'all in a dose video. I love sex. Who doesn't? Um, but yeah, I feel like we all, as children, we're put in a certain environment. We're put around certain people. And we don't like certain qualities of some people, but we love certain qualities. So we take different qualities from different people and kind of mend them into our own, our own little personality, our ball of personality. And that's how you're made. That's how I see it though.
Is that justified to release to the public as a fucking product? Courtney Love, who I think generally is way overhated, but apparently she was the one who edited and approved of this, getting it published, meaning she also decided what would be included and what wouldn't be. And I just can't think of one justified reason why these specific passages of him just like using his journal, this is just his diary, why that should be sold for $30 at Target to be just placed on someone's like fucking
That'd be a
coffee
well
table.
spent
That is
$30.
insanely disturbing. That's next level. Even Kurt and Courtney's daughter, now that she's older, has spoken out about this being a regret that she wishes her mom didn't make public and something that should have stayed private. Because it's one thing if it was like demos or lyrics, but now it's marketed as like getting inside the mind of Kurt Cobain and trying to understand his troubled mind.
That's basically what it is it not? You basically reading this man's diary. Without his consent, by the way. You basically reading his diary.
Like what the fuck? Getting to know his deepest, darkest secrets from his own personal journal, which, by the way, his wife completely signed off on and said was just like a great idea to do. Just doing this for profit. This could be yours for just a few bucks. That's sick shit. I mean, he talks about his parents' divorce in here too and everything. I mean, he clearly used like, his journal and overall just like writing down his thoughts and feelings as some kind of coping mechanism or way to relieve stress and to work out his problems. It's a reality that I can't even like comprehend of my, deepest, most vulnerable personal thoughts that I'm writing for myself being manufactured as a product and sent out to millions of people to be bought, sold for $30 on Amazon. But this is my starting point. From here, I started to think about this concept a lot more and many other cases where potentially this like could have happened, or there's some weird exploitative behavior of artists after they pass away. And it wasn't too hard to immediately remember of a few cases that I've just personally witnessed in my own life. Modern rappers XXXTentacion and Juice WRLD, although I don't really personally care for their
Even
music.
with fucking Juice WRLD, bro. Let me tell y'all, bro. That the party never ends. I'm gonna keep it G real with you. That album was dog shit. Like I love Juice WRLD. I love my top five artists of all time. I love Juice WRLD. He has a lot of great unreleased music in his catalog, and I feel like the label could have put together something way better than they did. Then they kept pushing it back, pushing it. I think they pushed it back like a year or two. Like, what are we doing? To the point where people didn't even. I didn't like how I think they kept pushing it back to keep his name alive so they can keep on getting money out of the situation. The, the, what's it called, bro? The, the unfortunate, the unfortunate overdose of Juice WRLD. They was just milking this man, bro. I don't like Grade A Productions. That's what the label is. Man, fuck y'all, bro.
That much. They have been some of the biggest victims of this, if not like the worst. Their greedy labels have actually milked them for every last drop, every last ounce that they were worth, even in
Agreed.
death. If you take a look at X's Spotify page, you'll be able to see that he has 7 albums out.
Even the Look at Me album, I didn't. This Look at Me, look.
If you take a look at
This
X,
Look at Me album, I read it. I heard the whole album without listening to the album. They took a lot of his singles and songs that are already out and put it all together. Whoa, cool. Like, bro, what are you talking about?
Spotify page, you'll be able to see that he has 7 albums out. 7 albums have been released
Hey,
in his
that's 17, bro.
Spotify page, you'll be able to see that
That's
he
what I
has
was telling y'all
7 albums.
about in my last video. This right here. Saved My Life, boy. Love this album. My favorite album of all time. I gotta get 17 tatted somewhere on my body, bro.
Out.
Probably on
7
my
albums
sleeve.
have been released in his name and 1 deluxe. Now, you'd probably be shocked to hear that only 3 out of these 7 have been released by actually himself when he was alive. The rest were released all after he passed away, which means the majority of his albums that he has to show were literally released without his fucking choice. Truly some sickening stuff. Now, to quickly qualify, there are ways and circumstances where close friends, producers, and collaborators release music from an artist after they pass away in an ethical way and in a good way that usually I'm fine with. Like, a good example is Elliott Smith. At the time of his tragic death, he was nearly done with his next album. So his producer, who was very close to him, and a couple of other people in his life, helped finish off the finishing touches to release it to the public because they personally felt that was the right thing to do. That's like the gold standard and rare exception that I think is fine, like for me personally, when it comes to releasing an artist's music without their exact permission. But this is the exact opposite of like what happened with X. It's brutal. This album, let alone like all of these albums, were nowhere near finished. And to some
Why did Question Mark need a? Why did this need a deluxe? I feel like it was straight how it was. Why did it need a deluxe?
high degree that it is like such a complete insult and such a horrible way to stain an artist's discography like this. And I'm not even like an XXX guy. Like I'm not even like there's a couple songs that I think are like decent or whatever, but
My bad. I thought
I don't
I
have like
heard
this
something, yo. My bad.
necessarily high respect for him, but I couldn't imagine being like a fan of this guy and like was deeply invested in his work and just seeing this happen. If this happened to like one of my favorite artists, this I would just be fucking mind blown. Because this wasn't just like a one-off. This wasn't just, one last tribute album that they
To
released.
this day, they're still making, even on his channel, Make Out Hill, they're making trailers for whatever the fuck they got going on now, and it's like I'm not interested no more, bro. Y'all just dragging his legacy through the dirt at this point, bro.
Afterwards, after noticing that like some milk was left after this first release after he passed away, they just kept dropping more. They dropped another, then they dropped another and dropped another, and got so desperate to literally milk anything from like X's
made a
catalog,
question
they
mark
started
in it.
releasing voice fucking memos of the guy. I'm not joking. They were so desperate to just get any stream in any possible way that they were releasing voice memos.
That's what
Voice
the
memo.
deluxe is. That's what the deluxe is. Is it got voice memos of every song? They need their ass
Man,
beat, bro.
what the fuck? It's crazy. I've never seen something like this. It's unbelievable. Voice memos from this guy's like fucking iPhone you're putting out just to get like a couple more streams? When is enough enough? Each album released was more incomplete as the last, and it's just an insane, disgusting, desperate attempt to make as much money as possible
I wonder
on a
how Ski
corpse.
was.
And all of it is an insane emotional manipulation of the dedicated fans who were actually emotionally invested in his art, in him as a person, that they're relying on being so
I
distracted.
guess my question got answered. I'm asking like, why the fuck did this need a deluxe? Nigga, they just put the voice memos, the pre-recorded things that he did, so he didn't forget the rhythm or the flow that he had for each song. That's
Being
crazy.
so heartbroken that he was taken too soon, so that they're going to be the ones desperately clawing for anything they can get from him, even if it is voice memos, and they're preying on those people. This is the blueprint example, the
Weirdos.
exact opposite of an ethical tribute done to someone. And the craziest part?
Seedream
Weirdos.
4.0, the
But
model
nah,
that's
welcome to the
dominating the
Bro
global
Side
AI
YouTube, where we
leaderboard
get
right now,
ads.
and you can use it
Eventually,
completely
I'm
free
gonna ad block,
inside
but today
Dreamina.
ain't that
It
day,
generates
my boy.
They still aren't done. They're still kicking it. They're still cracking it in 2025. This guy passed away in 2018. And still this year, the last people who I would ever expect having a new single out are apparently still dropping. What do you even say to this? Are you fucking kidding me? I guess
The way with XXX Tentacion. Bro, the fact that they weren't even X died before Juice WRLD became who Juice WRLD was. So they didn't even have the opportunity to intertwine to get together. If you would have did it with Lil Peep and X, okay, which they did with Sunlight on Your Skin or Falling Down, whatever they named the remix. Cool. I love that song. But bro, people do mixes like this on YouTube all the time. There's literally hundreds, maybe even thousands of videos with X, Juice WRLD, and Lil Peep just this their voices over different beats, and it just sound good. They didn't make this song, it just sound good. They just mixed their song into different beats. They mixed their vocals into different beats. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's basically what they did right here in 2025. I didn't even hear this shit. I don't even think I wanted to. I might go listen to it when I get off when I end this video, but bro,
truly do never
that's
die, because the
crazy.
labels will just like reanimate these corpses again and again and again if it means any dollar, any
As a parent or a close friend of either of these parties, bro, I would genuinely feel sick. I would want to throw up, bro.
can come from it. A 2025 collaboration of Juice WRLD and XXX Tentacion. Oh my gosh, man. And Juice WRLD is nearly just as bad of an example of this too, by the way. Like, same thing. He only released these 3 albums.
I know y'all hear that shit. I promise you, I don't do no drugs. I'm sober. I ain't smoked weed in months. I'm just hearing shit. But great album. I'm gonna put this second favorite album of all time. Good Riddance Anniversary. What the hell is this? I don't know. This was straight. This was beautiful. Eh, I feel like this was more so Juice WRLD's album than Future's, but they say Juice WRLD featured on all of these, so hey, Future got a bag off this, honestly.
He was alive, yet look at all of this bullshit. Even though Legends Never Die received a better reception than X's posthumous
Goodbye and Good Riddance 5-year anniversary edition. What are we talking about here? What is, the party never ends 2.0. Legends Never Die 5-year anniversary edition. Remind you, Legends Never Die came out like 2 years ago just because of the simple fact they kept pushing it back. I know my shit, bro.
albums that came out afterwards. It just, listening through this, it becomes increasingly obvious, especially as the album continues to go on, that it's just such unfinished work and lazy. Like, there is no reason that this album should have been 22 songs long, especially when you listen to some of these and they're just
The man, a myth, a legend. He's talking in this one. He was talking in this one.
clearly
Scroll up a
unfinished
little
and just
bit.
something that should
But that's how his albums go. He did that with Goodbye and Good Riddance too. He had a couple dialogue
be released. But what
tracks.
is Fighting Demons, man? Is this seriously the best tribute covers they could?
I like Burn. I like Cigarettes, even though this was released before this dropped. I like Sometimes this was released before it dropped. Wandered to LA was released before it dropped. They just added Juice WRLD on. I mean, they just added Justin Bieber on it. They just added them on. Just slap Juice. Let's just slap Justin Bieber on here. It'll do numbers. That's what they did with that.
Up with two? These are killing me. The Party Never Ends 2.0?
Yeah, no,
And don't mistake it, this label is just as
disgusting.
bad as X's. I mean, I think this is the first time I've ever seen in my life two separate releases of the same album for the 3-year anniversary and the 5-year anniversary.
They dropped the same album 3 times. Well, two times. He dropped it once. They dropped it twice. They just
Of the
changed.
same album.
They changed the color of the car and the color of the sky. Cool. I literally, I'm generally about to go see what songs are on here. Like honestly,
For the 3-year anniversary and the 5-year
let me go see, bro.
anniversary. What is that? Man, usually you see like 20-year anniversary deluxe, 30-year celebration anniversary, you maybe get like a remix. I mean, not even X's label had the balls to do this. This is kind of next level. You really can't wait 10 years? Is because you're worried that Juice WRLD isn't going to be relevant in like 10 years, 20 years? Is that why? Got to squeeze every last opportunity as fast.
Okay, they added 734, even though that dropped before this. They added Glowed Up on here. That dropped. So they just taking unreleased singles and slapping it on here. Shit that's already been released. For people that know, oops, my bad. For avid or Juice WRLD enthusiasts, if you look on the 5-year anniversary, those were unreleased songs before. And it got to the point where they took the unreleased songs off of YouTube Music just so they can re-release it on the same album. Yeah, bro. Vampires.
Possible before the fans don't care
Sickening.
about him anymore. They're celebrating 5-year anniversaries of their posthumous album and not his actual real ones that he released himself. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. This is some grim stuff. And these are just a couple examples off the top of my head just for this video to get across the main points. But, comment down if you know any others and maybe I'll talk about them again because I bet there's so many, just an endless list of examples of different artists that have been taken advantage of in this way. This truly is like one of the worst things about the industry of all time. The worst thing that something could like happen to an artist. I appreciate everybody.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you, I got one. Like I said, Lil Peep. Why did Lil Peep die in what, 2015, 16, maybe 17? Why is he still having singles released and they're getting re-released just how they did Juice WRLD? They doing Lil Peep like that with his singles. It ain't as bad, but it's on the same pedestal. But nah, let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Did I miss anything? Am I wrong feeling the way I feel? As an avid ex listener, Juice listener, I didn't really listen to Kurt Cobain like that. I heard a couple of songs, but that was out of my era. But he was a pretty slick artist. But let me know, am I wrong for thinking the way I think? Do y'all actually enjoy this bullshit that they're pushing out from y'all favorite artists? But nah, I said what I said. Y'all heard what I said. So I'm gonna catch you niggas in the next one. Yes, sir.